So now all we have left to do is the border of the piece. All the doggies are painted in, all the little hats are painted in, and there's a lot of warm colors on the dogs, and that's good because it gives a nice contrast with the blues and greens in the background. Blues and greens recede, and warm colors pop. So something to think about. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to do the border, and earlier in the earlier demo I said I was going to do it in the same color as the background, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to do it in some warm colors. I'm going to use the cadmium red. I'm going to use some rose violet, the pink color that I've used throughout. I'm also going to use gold. I've used a lot of gold in this painting. It actually gives it a really fun, whimsical quality. I used it to detail each of the dogs in a different way. So for instance, this little dude here has there's orange underneath, but then there's a little gold right there, and I love it. It looks like a little harlequin little ensemble he's wearing here. And you know, each one has kind of their own little fun details. Like this, the Leica dog has little gold on her necklace, and then she has some tiny little gold beads, drops, and her necklace, her L, is in gold. And this little guy has gold here, and then here and here is just red. So it's fun. It's fun to look at. Adds a lot of visual interest. I love to do paintings where you always find something new in the painting. You know, regardless of how many times you look at it, there's always something new to look at. That's just my thing, and I love to add a lot of detail and a lot of fun little nuggets in there. So what I'm thinking about doing is adding a lot of gold to the accents around the border as well. Some of these are going to be gold highlighted too. So but not, you know, I'm not going to do the lettering in gold. I'm just going to do some highlighting in gold. So I'll do one letter for you and show you how it's going to work out. I think I'm going to change the color per letter. So I'm just going to do one letter, and then I'll show you how I'm going to highlight it too. So we'll do the, maybe we shouldn't do the R in red because there's actually a red hat right next to it, or a hat with red right next to it, and I don't want it to compete. So let's do, let's do it in pink. Let's do a pink R. It's actually kind of challenging for me to show you just one letter because I'm always painting like so many different things at the same time on a painting, but maybe I'll turn off the camera and return it back on or something. Anyway, so you see I'm just painting wet paint on the dry. I'm going to lift some later, but the reason I'm doing this is just because I want the color to be a little richer than doing a wet on wet technique. I really like how the wet on wet technique works with on hot press paper. It's gorgeous if you can manage that. But I'll have to show that to you some other time. So I'm just going to lift some. So it's kind of cool because we have kind of a fun effect here where some of it is picked up and some of it is not. So I like that. So I think the letter is sufficiently dry enough that we can do a little shadow there with the pink. Like that. And the shadow would also be under here. And it would be right there, and it would be right there. So these are very subtle little things that you would probably not notice when you first look at it. You know, shadows, they just, when you paint in shadows on things, they just give things a more elegant and finished look. It's not something that even the viewer realizes they're seeing oftentimes. But, you know, it does make the difference between something that, you know, is colored in and something that is like a little more thought out. So that's a good thing. So I'm just doing some little orange dots around the R now. And then I'm going to blot them. Let's see. Okay, that looks good. So now we're going to take some gold. I think this is all dry enough to continue to work here quickly. So I have some gold on my paintbrush here. I want to make sure it's thick enough but not too thick that it's gloppy, because I'm going to make some little tiny dots right over the orange and the R dots. The dots right over the R. Make some little dots. So, you know, you got both the orange and the gold. That looks good. And then I'm going to, what else am I going to do? I think I'm going to do some dots on the R as well. Just because I can't get enough of dots. And lines. I think I'll probably do some stripes on the other letters too. I'm going to do some little staggered gold dots on the R. Like that. And I keep filling my paintbrush because I don't want to run out of gold. I'm using my dried paint from yesterday. Watercolor is really easy to re-wet too, so that's another great thing about watercolor. You can't do that with acrylic. Acrylic just dries like plastic, so you gotta work quick. All right, that looks great. So what we're gonna do now is add a little bit of sunny quality to the R. We're gonna add some little rays, sort of, not really rays, but we're gonna add like a bloom of a little pretty yellow little halo type of thing. That's fun. Very subtle, but it's there, so it's nice. That's one of the letters, and when you see the rest of the painting, you will see the completed painting. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will be doing some more, so stay tuned. Thank you, and keep painting.